Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, today was very sort of unique day, I guess. We had a lot of stuff going on. Everybody was home today except for Matthew. My dad originally actually had something that he was supposed to like take care of today. In addition to his truck, I think he was still like taking care of. He took it in over this weekend and they didn't end up getting it taken care of, like his work truck, and so he's like still waiting on it. So that, I think, was one of the things he was supposed to get done. He was also supposed to get something else done for today as well. Jack was home because you know, they have off of school today, and then my mom, she was home anyway today, but she had a meeting today that ended up, I kid you not, guys, it took like 5.5 hours, I think, or something like that. And because she was doing it like sort of like a Skype meeting sort of thing, I don't know exactly what it was on, but you know, like video conference sort of thing, she had to do it in the living room though. And so for 5.5 hours we were all, I think it was that long, maybe it's 4.5 hours. We all sort of were trapped in places where we had to sort of stay. So my job was to keep the dogs quiet and keep them in my bedroom. So that's what I ended up doing. And because, and they're both looking at me right now like, you didn't have to. We could have stayed quiet on our own, Kayla. You guys could not have. You bark it way too much. So tell you guys too why. This is another reason again too why I have to normally babysit them when something important is sort of going on, because they only stay quiet if somebody stays with them to keep them quiet. If they're like, if we're like, oh, we need to, like, you know, again, lock them away in somebody's bedroom because, you know, we have either guests over or somebody has, again, something important that they have to do, like phone calls or video conference or, again, whatever it might be, we, you know, we can't just lock them away because they won't be quiet. They will just keep barking and wanting to come out, and they don't want to be trapped alone in a room by themselves. So somebody has to stay with them. But if I were to, again, let them out and let them roam around the house free, well, again, my mom is busy and they happen to see the mailman, oh my goodness, there is going to be a lot of loud noises, and that's probably not going to be very good considering, like I said, my mom had to be on meeting all day today. So because of that though, my dad ended up taking Jack out to go and get his hair cut today, because they were like, well, if there's less people in the house, you know, hopefully that'll keep things quiet. And since they were both home today, they ended up going, like I said, my dad ended up taking Jack to go and get his hair cut. And then when they went out too, because I told you guys about our fun upstairs project that we've got going on, and not just the upstairs project, our whole house project right now, which is a whole process of moving things around and moving bedrooms and all kinds of other stuff, and like I said, all the fun stuff that comes along with that. And I told you guys that the one area that is not organized in the attic that I'd like to get organized before we sort of go through this whole process is to organize all of our holiday decorations. Right now they're in boxes, and like cardboard boxes too, and I don't like keeping stuff in cardboard boxes because they are very prone to breaking and just you know, like they're all weird shapes and they don't fit, they don't stack on top of each other well. I like having everything in like bins and like totes and stuff like that. So really good news was that I was actually looking for some like holiday bins, like, you know, red and green ones, because all of the bins up in the attic as far as the holiday stuff goes, I want to be all color coordinated and organized. I'd say probably about 90% of the attic is all in just black bins, and they're all for the most part like the same size and everything like that. There's a handful of stuff that's up there that was like bins that we had already had, but everything that we did that was new, as far as organizing the attic goes, everything went into black totes. They were the cheapest ones at Menards, so that's what we went with. And then but I want to keep the holiday stuff because that is something that, again, we pull out a lot more frequently, and you know, like just needing to see that stuff, like being like, okay, we need the Easter stuff, okay, the Easter stuff's in a pink, you know, pink bins or whatever, because I think pastels for Easter, and I think the big blue like tote that we got for 4th of July. We have orange ones, like orange and black ones for Halloween and like fall. And then we are going to be getting green and red ones for Christmas, again, just to keep everything color coded, because that's the easiest. Instead of like, we'll keep all the holiday stuff in one section, but if I had them all in just black bins, I'd be like, okay, well, we need all the Christmas stuff. We go to pull the Christmas stuff out and I'd probably wind up losing a couple bins, thinking that, oh, those are just Easter bins, and no, they were actually Christmas bins, or thinking that, oh, those are Christmas bins, they're actually Easter ones. It's just, since I know that that is going to be a section that's been going to be going through a lot of, like, we're going to be pulling stuff out constantly, you know, again, for every single season that we're changing things, I would like all of that to be color coordinated, just so that I know if I see a red and green bin up in the attic, I know that that's Christmas stuff, and I don't have to try and second guess or read all the tags to stuff if maybe I couldn't get to it or whatever. If I just see the bin, I know that's one that has to come down. And on top of that too, it also makes it a little bit easier for people that are like organizing, you know, putting stuff away in the attic too, because, or taking stuff down, because they can see that and go, okay, I know that that's Christmas stuff. You know, whereas all of the other bins that are up in the attic right now are not things that we go through very often. So if you just pull one bin out for something where you're like, oh, I just needed that because it was, you know, it had, you know, I think there's a bin of like, you know, like bedding or something like that up there. We were like, okay, we need to like grab that out of there. For the most part, we keep our bedding downstairs, but there is some like overflow of stuff that's kept up in the attic. But if again, we were like, oh, we need that, you just take the bin out, you can take it downstairs, you can go through it, do whatever you need to, and then just put it back up in the same spot. It's not like, again, there's a lot of movement of that kind of stuff on a constant basis where you're then going to wind up leaving that bin down for forever, or not filling it back up with the stuff, or not putting it back in the right place, or whatever it is. It's like, it has a spot, it's going to go back there. But because we have so much holiday stuff, and then again too, it comes out and goes back in so frequently, you know, not so frequently, it's only once a year, but you know, there's multiple holidays all in sort of one section that have to be gone through. So you could wind up putting stuff away for Easter and then realizing, you know, or say we put the stuff away for Thanksgiving and then realize we don't have enough room for the stuff for Christmas that has to, like, you know, go back up there, or like the other way around. We take the stuff out for Christmas, we go to put the like holiday, you know, fall stuff away, and then realize that we don't have enough room when we go to put the Christmas stuff back up there. And again too, that's just more because, like, you know, it's always constantly moving, so we have to make sure that we have enough space for all this stuff right now at the same time before we just again start taking stuff down now for potentially, you know, again, winter holidays. So anyways though, I saw that they did have some holiday totes, like I said, the red and green ones at Menards, actually pretty inexpensive as well. They also had solid red ones, which they only had, like, said they had 6 in stock left, and I was like, I really don't think that you're gonna find those, because normally when it's a really low number in stock, that normally means that they don't have a lot. But they said that they had a ton of these red and green ones. They said they had like 119 of them in stock, and I was like, okay, you know, like, we should, you know, definitely be able to find some of these. My dad calls me because he took Jack to go and get his hair cut, and since they were getting his hair cut, they also ran over to Menards to pick up some of these bins so that we can start organizing. So he goes, and like I said, they go to Menards, and he's like, I can't find them anywhere, like in the bin section. And I was like, I looked on the little, like Menards actually has it where you can pull up the map of the store and they tell you where the item is. And so I was like, it says that it should be in the holiday, or not in the holiday section, but my dad looked in the holiday section too, because he was thinking like it might be there in like the Christmas stuff. So he goes and looks over there, he's like, I didn't see it over by the bin. So I pull up the little map while I'm at home, and he's talking to me on the phone, and I was like, it says that they have it in the bin section. So my dad asked somebody in stores, and apparently from the report that I got, it's he asked the guy, and he was like, oh yeah, we might have some of them in the back, we haven't put them out yet, but I think we're supposed to be putting them out this weekend. So he goes in the back, I guess. My dad said he was gone for like 20 minutes. He finally, you know, comes back. He's got 2 bins, and he was like, I couldn't remember if you guys said you wanted 2 or 4, and my dad's just like, I'm not gonna send him back there again, so I just said 2 is fine. So my dad came home with 2 of the bins, which we're definitely gonna need more. I would say probably at least 10 plus. Like, we have, for all of our fall stuff, which is between, you know, Halloween, regular just fall decorations, and also Thanksgiving, like, for us, fall sort of like 3 distinctive sort of things. We normally put all of the fall stuff and like Halloween stuff up at the same time. Then we move the Halloween stuff, put it back up. That's maybe like 1 or 2 bins. We put that stuff back up. Then we get normally the Thanksgiving stuff down. In addition to, we already have like the fall sort of leaves and pumpkins and stuff like that out. But then we bring down like the cornucopia and, you know, all that kind of stuff normally for like actual Thanksgiving. So we are sort of in that stage right now. But we probably have another, again, 2 bins though, or a bin or 2 worth of just Thanksgiving. Then we have probably, again, 4+ bins full of, I would say probably more than that, maybe close to 6, because I think we have maybe 8 in total worth of all of the fall stuff between Halloween and Thanksgiving and just regular fall. So like I said, I think there's close to 8 totes, and they're not the huge totes. I think they're only like the 18-gallon totes or something like that, so they're not, again, huge. But we have those that, again, too, we have all of the color coordinated ones for fall, because I know we have so many just for fall, and I know that our Christmas stuff is probably at least double the amount of stuff that we have for fall. I know that we're gonna need a lot of bins. So my dad started, at least we got 2 of those, which is again good because we can maybe start moving some of this stuff out of just, again, the cardboard boxes, or some stuff is just loose in the attic right now. Like we don't have any of our wreaths in like a bin either too. So all that stuff again needs to actually be put in and organized properly into it. So it was a good start that he got 2 of them, but we're most likely, again, over this weekend, I would say at least I want to pick up like 5 this weekend as far as those go, and then we will have, you know, 7 of them to at least start off this weekend, and we can start going through that because I told you guys too, that's kind of my first step in wanting to get all of the rooms organized so that we can move this stuff to the proper rooms that we need to, so we can do the you know, again, all of the sort of, I don't want to say reno, but it is sort of, we're renovating pretty much most of upstairs. We're also going to do new windows upstairs. There's a lot that's going to go into this whole process, like I was saying. But because of that, like I was telling you guys too, we have to get all the stuff out from upstairs. So in order to do that, we're going to keep some of the stuff in the attic. Like our attic is not finished, the upstairs bonus room is finished. So all the stuff that's in there, which is currently Matthew and Jack's room, plus sort of the family room / my dad's office, it's all kinds of stuff up there right now, is going to eventually be my parents' bedroom and office upstairs. But because of that right now though, again, all of the stuff that is in that room needs to be moved into different rooms, or currently like just temporarily stored in the attic. But again, in order to do that, I want to make sure that the stuff in the attic that we already have that's in the attic is 100% organized, and then it will make it easier to be able to just put the things in the attic. You know, again, too, as we, you know, like if we get a bin of Jack and Matthew's books from their bedroom, we can just temporarily store that in there until they have their room where their books can go, where their video game cases can go, where, you know, again, stuff that they don't go through on a consistent basis, you know, that can be temporarily stored. So anyways, like I said, we got started on that process today a little bit, but that's why, again, my dad and Jack were going to just go out, go run a couple errands that they needed to, and then they were going to come home, and we were hoping that then my mom would be done, because originally we thought it was only going to be about 3 hours at most. Turned into, like I said, I think it was 4.5 or 4+ hours or something like that. It was crazy. So again, it was a long day sort of for everybody, but I was able to get editing done while I was sort of locked away in my room with the dogs all day. Yeah, with you guys. Bravo was looking at me like, what? So I got that done for today. I did laundry in the afternoon. I got to, again, a handful of other things, but I wasn't able to really clean the bathroom today either, so I'm probably gonna have to do that tomorrow. But like I said too, the good thing is that we're moving in the direction of, again, getting this whole process started, because we just decided, again, really yesterday, I think it was yesterday, yeah, night, that we were, like yesterday afternoon, that we were gonna officially decide to take this project on. And like I was telling you guys too, my mom just, especially I think, and my dad, I guess, trust me with the organization aspect of the whole thing, because I like to do it anyway. Organizing is sort of my happy place. It stresses me out a lot, but it's also my happy place, and it keeps me motivated to like do things as well. And again too, to get things done, and like knowing that like I can see the big picture, and I can see how we can get to that point, and so that makes me, you know, and helps keep me motivated and inspires me to, again, sort of get that whole, you know, thing done. But again, I'm like thinking like, okay, process wise what has to come and what needs to happen first. So like I said, last thing is that we started, literally it was about this time last year that we started organizing our attic, which was completely in complete disarray. It's 100%, I wouldn't say 100% because again we're not completely done, but it is like it's done almost a complete 180 from what it was. There were sections in the attic where you couldn't even walk because there was just so much stuff. And then again too, a lot of times we were storing things in like cardboard boxes, and again too, cardboard box ends up breaking because it's too overfilled or something happens or somebody tries to grab stuff out of it and couldn't, you know, it was too heavy, so then the box broke or whatever. So there's also lots of loose things all over in the attic too, which didn't make the process any easier. But we spent so much time, and again too, I go up there and I'm so happy when I see like just bins lined up against the entire walls of the attic. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. So again too, there's still sort of one section that's sort of left in the attic, and then after that we have several bins of stuff that was needed to get into specific bins that were in the attic. Like if we ended up finding like loose photographs in the attic, I would just put them in a bin, that like if I couldn't get to at the time our box of photos, so I would put them just in a bin with like other stuff that I knew needed to get organized and separated out into all of our organized bins. I have several bins of stuff that just needs to be organized into the bins, so that's also one other thing that does need to be finished up. And then after that we should be like, you know, again pretty much done with everything in the attic, and then moving all the stuff that needs to be temporarily moved into that space and potentially into the garage, and again too maybe my mom's office just for a short time while we can again do a full reno sort of upstairs. It's going to be flooring, re-drywalling, and windows are all going to be redone up there. And honestly too, while we're at it, me and my dad will probably just throw in like new not electric, but just more like new light switches and outlets and stuff like that. We're not going to fully redo the electric up there so long as it doesn't need it. I don't think so, but I think that like there's a ceiling fan probably needs to be replaced, and there's actually 2 lights up there. That it was funny because for the longest time we didn't know what one switch upstairs went to, and then my dad was like, well, he used to have 2 different types of lights up here, and then when the people ended up moving out, they covered over, they took the lights out with them and just put a cheap light up, and then covered over one of the spots. I actually want to say that it was like in the last 2 years when we were redoing my mom's office and stuff like that, we went upstairs and my dad's like, we figured out finally what the outlet was for, or the switch was for, and I was like, it has to be for that extra spot where the light used to be that they just covered over, and we figured that out, that it was that. So there's actually 2 lights now upstairs, whereas for the longest time there was just one, because we only thought that there was, well, we knew that there was the other one that was covered over, but we didn't realize, like, we never put a second light up there. So then when we realized what the other light switch was for, we put the other light up there, and you know, now there's a lot more light up there. And like I said, there's the 2 lights instead, but my parents might want to wind up replacing that anyway instead. So that's sort of a little bit almost more cosmetic stuff. The big, like I said, the big stuff that has to be done is windows, flooring, and drywall. And we can probably do the tear out of the flooring and the drywall, but as far as the windows have to be replaced by somebody else. We're not doing that. And then installation, my dad does not want to do drywall. Like, he can install the drywall, he does not want to mud it. So he definitely wants to have somebody else do that. It's funny too, because my parents actually, at our old house, there was a wall in, like, it was like the dining room, but then it was potentially another bedroom. And so originally, I think it was a bedroom. Then my parents decided to tear the wall out and then turn it into sort of like a dining room. Then when Matthew was born, they put the wall back up or something like that. But I remember like they took it down or put it back up like twice or something like that. But they're kind of experts at doing it by that point. But my dad was like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, I'd rather hire somebody to do it. So that's a plan for that, and then also to hiring somebody to do the flooring. But as far as ripping everything out, we're going to do that. Save a little bit of money there. So like I said, that is the whole process of everything that has to happen. But again too, we have to start small. It has to start as baby steps before we can get to the big thing. And I told you guys too, my personal goal, I would definitely want to try as hard as we possibly can to get it done before the summer. That would be the best timing ever. So like I said, and too, since everything's inside except for the windows, you also don't have to really deal with a whole lot of that. But if we could again get that done really quickly and get the windows, we could have the windows still installed you know, in the fall, you know, so it's not like icy outside and stuff like that, to try and hire somebody to do that. Well, again, it's winter outside and we just possibly have really bad conditions in addition to that. But like I said, I will keep you guys updated with the whole process. But anyways, guys, we started with our first small little baby step, which is to get some of the bins. But like I said, we'll have to wait pretty much until this weekend anyway, probably till they actually put them out, because or else we have to send some poor Menards employee into the back room again to be gone for 20 minutes to find them and get them back out again. So like I said, my dad was like, I felt so bad. But anyways, I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.